It's the Cubs' first hit tonight. Baez launches. Way back. Gone. 3-1. There's the 1-0 to Russell. Deep left center. Grand slam time. Kapow. Up the middle through for a base hit. Fowler around third. He will score, and it's 2-1 Cubs.
Joe's just not going to let this lead get away without using Chapman.
Who fires, swing and a miss. He got him. Pitch, a bouncer, Cubs win. Cubs win as Aroldis Chapman gets his first save as a Chicago Cub.
Oh, I'm still not used to seeing that guy throw the gas. Aroldis Chapman there. This is Wrigley Field. Game 1 of a 3-game set between the Mariners and the Cubs, getting ready for a 120. First pitch, the Chicago Cubs looking for their 62nd win of the season. Hisashi Iwakuma facing John Lester as the Cubs try to go for their 3rd straight win for only the 2nd time this month. Hello and welcome into Cubs Pregame Live.
This is Cubs Pregame Live, presented by Fields Auto Group.
It is Cubs Pregame Live presented by Fields Auto Group alongside Todd Hollinsworth, Layla Rahimi, and it was fun to see what we saw last night and the night before. Just a full bullpen, 2 Cubs wins as they look for that 3rd straight win in the first game of this series against the Mariners. Well,
and a bounce back in the crosstown. I think that's what we're leading to, and hopefully there's not a little bit of a letdown today. A lot of emotion kind of over the last 2 days, a couple of big wins. You know, the White Sox came out and played some good baseball at the front end of the Crosstown Cup. Cubs played great, played well at home, certainly want to carry that in. Now, this Mariners team, got to be ready. This is a good team. I think their record is not indicative of the talent that they've got on this roster, so this is going to be a good test for the Cubs.
I feel like we have a lot of proof of that coming up, by the way. But first, it is almost time to get you interactive with the show. We have a fan vote coming up. Go to your mobile, laptop, tablet, whatever you need, Apple IIe. Head to csnchicago.com/vote. In just a few minutes, we will bring you our live fan vote. And let's get the latest as we go out to Wrigley Field now. It is time for our Coors Light Game Report. Kelly Kroll, live from Wrigley with the latest on a roster move that kind of took to Twitter and got a lot of people fired up. What's the latest, Kelly?
Certainly so, Layla. Well, all week the club's been discussing some of the difficult roster moves that they have coming as guys start to get healthy. And Joe Maddon says, you know, that's a good problem to have, but it still doesn't make the conversations any easier. And last night, the difficult one he had to have was with Tommy La Stella, who the club optioned to AAA Iowa this morning, and activated Chris Coghlan. Coghlan batting .200. He'll be hitting leadoff this morning, a lefty bat there at the start of the lineup. La Stella, on the other hand, was hitting almost .300, but again, La Stella had an option left in his contract, and Joe Maddon will discuss this decision and tell you it's really about the baseball rules right now.
Honestly, it's just about rules. We talked about that the other day. It's just getting Coghlan back. He was ready to come back, and Tommy had an option. Not well, like you would not expect it. Yeah, I was not well, and he shouldn't take it well. Honestly, it's just it's an unusual moment we're in right now where we have so many guys, and like this is definitely advocacy for a 27 or 28 man roster. It's just it's difficult. These are hard decisions. Guys are not going to like them. I don't expect them to like them. I will not make up any. God bless you. See you there again. 2 days in Albini. Thank you. I'll not make up any kind of excuse or try to give you guys any kind of reason other than the fact that it was hard to do. He didn't like it. And it's just, again, it's part of the rules and how they are constructed in our game that kind of forces you into different moments.
Jorge Soler, another guy that's healthy, just waiting to see the production from him, and that'll be another decision the Cubs have to make. Well, the bullpen, the big story last night, fans getting their first look at that 3-headed monster, Strop, Rondon, Chapman, a group that certainly shortens the game, lengthens the pen, and they put on a perfect display against the Sox. Ben Zobrist says he can understand why they are garnering comparisons to that Kansas City shutdown core that, of course, was presented during the championship runs. And here's what Joe Maddon thinks about that comparison.
It could be similar. There's no doubt. I can't deny that. I probably would include, more Travis at times and possibly CJ and Grimmer, et cetera. Those three names are the most prominent. There's no question, and it can work that way because they don't know either right from left-handed hitter. They get both sides out well, and that's when you really are able to do that. I think I've talked about that before when you have more of the neutral kind of a relief pitcher that gets out both sides. So those guys are definitely able to do those things. It just lined up perfectly last night. Like today, I have to take an account of what's going on and who's able to pitch or not. But on a night that they're all well, you probably could see something like that.
And when the media was talking to Joe Madden, Layla, he wasn't sure about the availability when it came to Strop, Rondon, and Chapman, especially Chapman, a guy he's still getting acquainted with, wanted to talk to him and also pitching coach Chris Bosio before he made a decision as to whether those guys would be used or not. But you heard him there just a minute ago talking about how he would like to get guys like Travis Wood, CJ Edwards, and even Justin Grimm some work this afternoon. So depending on how the game plays out, we could be seeing those guys this afternoon against the Mariners. Let's go ahead and send it back to you guys in the studio.
Kelly, thank you. We want to remind you that today's CSN Bar of the Game presented by Coors Light is Benchmark. And if you aren't headed to Wrigley Field, watch today's CSN broadcast at Benchmark to see the complete list of the CSN Bars of the Game presented by Coors Light. Visit csnchicago.com. So we get to watch what has been a fun setup so far in just 2 games, really. But we see it all come together last night. Lackey goes 6 innings, Todd.
Right.
Then you have Strop, Rondon, and then you finish off with Chapman.
Well, you have incredible flexibility, and that's what Joe really is talking about. You look at this bullpen, the velocity that you've got down there when you add Chapman into what was a bit more of a right-handed mix, especially with the power arms, you get a little bit more balance. You pair that with what we talk about and what you hear Joe talk about in regards to the rotation and pitches. Think last night, John Lackey threw 84 pitches through 6 innings. I could very easily sit here and tell you he could have gone longer. He could have gone back out for the 7th. In fact, most teams probably would have gone that route. But because you've got this bullpen, you've got this dynamic, and it's building and it's gaining momentum. And again, we're getting used to it because the Chapman slots everybody down. You've got the ability to really kind of pace everybody out. And this is a good thing moving forward for a team that's got a nice lead in its division. It's 21 games over 500. But as you start to work your way into August and September, you realize how important your bullpen is going to be and how much you're going to need them.
And as we take a look at the numbers over the last 2 games, obviously the biggest one being 0 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, just a single walk. But to expand on your point, Holly, this is a pitching staff that Joe Madden and also Chris Bosio had said they didn't want to burn these guys' arms out. So now you've got this built-in cushion. Perhaps starters, veteran ones, don't feel like they're going to have to need to go as long now, and we get to see the long-term effects of this theoretically.
Well, and in fact, it works back and forth, and that's the great thing about a strong, deep bullpen. You heard Joe talking about LaStella and the circumstances of options and the way that you look at this roster, and it does apply to the bullpen as well. You're starting to accumulate talent, which is a good thing. Moving forward, August and September, you're going to need that depth. When it comes down to it, you'll cut your roster down to 25 as you push towards the playoff and you come up with what you believe is your best 25 at the end, but you're going to need more than 25 guys. That's the complications of this. Tommy LaStella has no business being in the minor leagues right now, but he is because of numbers and because of the depth that you've built in.
Certainly an impressive AAA roster, that's for sure. Now let's take a look at today's pitching matchup. It is brought to you by Bona, the original Italian beef. Hisashi Iwakuma facing John Lester, and this is an interesting matchup for a couple reasons because Iwakuma is on a heck of a run right now, and John Lester has struggled. Only 1 solid start out of his last 4. What stands out to you?
Well, I'll tell you what stands out is that usually we talk about John Lester, and I'm not going to get into his pitch sequencing quite yet, or even maybe some of the struggles that he's been dealing with, but the fact that he's going up against a American League team that he's got a lot of history against, 12 starts against the Mariners. So you've got guys in this lineup today that have got 15, 16 at-bats against him. I believe Nelson Cruz got like 44 at-bats. So it's going to be a good test for John. And the power that they've got in this lineup is certainly going to be a good test as well. We talk about John, that fastball command being so very important. Think back to his last start, he struggled just a little bit with it. Certainly wasn't working. Pitch count ran up and, again, was struggling with that command. I think it's going to be vital today to be on his game to both sides of the plate. Again, they've got left-handed power, right-handed power in this lineup, so he's going to have to navigate this lineup carefully and certainly to be respected. But, again, watch out for the fastball command. It is always key to his starts.
Yeah, he walked a season-high 5 batters his last time around. So given what we've seen out of him in the past few, what kind of John Lester do you think we're going to get?
You're going to see a lot of down in the zone. I really do believe that, especially, you know, when you consider the day that we've got going on at Wrigley Field. It's warm. The ball looks like it's going to be jumping out of the yard. This is not a lineup you want to get into a routine out over the plate. So, listen, the bullpen's in good condition right now, whether we're talking that first phase or that second phase. Expect you're probably going to see Wood and Grimm, Edwards involved today. But the point is this: I think John's looking to get back to what he does well, which is that fastball command, working the secondary pitches. But very, very important today to work both sides of the plate, because there are guys in this lineup that you have to respect or they're going to take you deep.
Hisashi Iwakuma has a no-hitter to his name. He is impressive over his last 12 starts, 10-2 with a 3.69 ERA in a very hitter-happy AL West.
Well, it's going to be a great test for the Cubs hitters. Now, we've had some conversation over the last, 4 or 5 days or so, especially in regards to what the White Sox were able to do in some ways against the Cubs lineup. Pitch to them. When we talk about guys who have good secondary pitches, can throw changeups and 2-0 counts, Iwakuma is a great test. Here's why. He's a 5-pitch mix guy. He's got a split finger fastball. He's got the two-seamer. Now, he's not going to blow you away, about 88 miles an hour. Does have a little tilt, but he throws a little bit of a cutter. He throws a slider. He'll throw a curveball, but typically everything down. Tries to pitch up with purpose when he thinks you're not looking for it and getting you to chase. But again, when you watch how he goes about his business, most of that action is going to be down in the zone. So good challenge today for Cubs hitters, is they're going to have to be prepared for more than just one pitch.
Absolutely. It should be fun to watch. We've got more coming up on Cubs Pregame Live, presented by Fields Auto Group. Just about 38 minutes until first pitch, and it's been all over Twitter already today. We discuss Tommy La Stella versus Chris Coughlin and what that means.
Cubs Pregame Live is presented by Fields Auto Group. Fields matters because you matter. See Fields first. FieldsAuto.com.
I'm Dan Fields of the Fields Auto Group. We've prepared a Joe Madden Signature Edition vehicle. It will be raffled off at the end of the season, with the proceeds going to many of Joe's favorite charities.
But not before I have the pleasure of driving it to and from the ballpark. Thank you, Dan, and everyone at Fields Auto Group for this special vehicle and for making this all possible.
For official raffle rules and complete details on how you can win this Joe Madden signature vehicle, go to FieldsAuto.com.
It is an honor for Fields Auto Group to help good causes like Cubs Charities and Misericordia. Fields matters because you matter.
Chicago's favorite spot for prime steaks, the freshest seafood, and world-famous Florida stone crab. Come on down to Joe's.
$1 window siding and door installation, 102 Pine Street.
Let's go, guys.
It's Feldco to the rescue with $1 installation on all windows, siding, and doors. Plus no money down and no interest until 2018. It's Feldco's biggest sale of the year.
That's $1.
$1 installation on all windows, siding, and doors.
Hurry, $1 installation ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Your home, your auto. They just go together. Combine your home and auto insurance with State Farm. Save time and money. Just another way we're here to help life go right. Talk to your State Farm agent today.
Hey, Ralph Punzel.
Oh, hey, Ronnie.
Where are you headed?
Great Clips.
You're getting a haircut?
I checked in already. Using their online check-in.
Online check?
It saves you time.
You're getting a haircut.
Why? Thinking about applying to astronaut school.
That's cool.
Okay, I'll see you, Ronnie.
Save time every time. Download the online check-in app today. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
The Anthony Rizzo Family Foundation and the Bono family have teamed up to knock cancer out of the park. Order your talent, beat the Rizzo way, and Bono will donate to my charity. I'm proud to be working with the Cubs and the Bono family, two Chicago originals.
Order it the Rizzo way at your local Bono restaurant.
It is 35 minutes until the start of the game. There is still time to give Feldco a call, 866 for Feldco. Let's take a look at the Cubs lineup. It is presented by Wrigleyville Sports. Of course, John Lester and Hisashi Iwakuma facing off. And this is a situation for the Cubs where they start, obviously, with Chris Coghlan leading off because they made that roster move with Tommy La Stella.
Well, yeah, I know it's a lot. This is a bit of a tough one for fans to deal with, but it's not right. And I certainly agree with Joe. And I think if I were Tommy La Stella, I'd be a little ticked off. He's done nothing to get sent down. That's really what it comes down to. So for me, listen, it is what it is. There's a point in your career when you lose that ability to be optioned. And honestly, it's a great moment for a player. And I know Tommy's working towards it, and he's had a lot of great things happen for him here in Chicago, and he's a big part of what they do here. But because he had that option, it's just business. It's not a reflection of the job that you've done or where Chris Coghlan's at. Chris Coghlan has done some good things here as well. Not more last year than this year, and certainly an opportunity, as you see, is in the lineup today to do some things. Also, outfield depth. These are all things that have to be weighed by a manager and by an organization. And for Tommy La Stella to get sit down, honestly, this is the best piece of advice. Hopefully it's not long. Go down there, handle your business. You'll be right back up because things do seem to happen. But Cogs is back. He did not have any options.
Coghlan in left field. You see Ben Zobrist batting fourth. He is in right. Your center fielder is Jason Hayward. Dexter Fowler with the day off. And we look at his numbers. It's a 155 average for Coghlan, but at the same time that has gone up since he's come back to Chicago, now at 194.
Well, I mean, listen, Cogs can do a lot of good things here. I mean, he's the one guy, and I think against a guy like Iwakuma today, that will give you good at-bats. He's going to go out there. He's going to work the count just a little bit. He's a good defender, and he's a good guy to have on this team. I don't know how to sit here and tell you who's going to pick who when it comes down to it, but it's an opportunity for Cogs as he gets back from the disabled list to play. He's got to take full advantage of that. I talk about it all the time. People don't want to hear it, and even Tommy La Stella probably doesn't think it this way, but internal competition is a good thing. It motivates players, and maybe a little bit of that's going on right now. The best players are going to end up on this roster as we get ourselves into September, and you're going to see how this is ultimately going to go because you have to prepare yourself for the playoffs, and you want to get those guys ready. So the people who are going to earn that playing time are the ones that go out there here in August and late July and August and play. Go out there and get the job done.
Todd has certainly motivated our viewers as well, as it is time for the Cubs fan poll. Today's question is, who would you rather have on the Major League roster? And you see the numbers there, Chris Coghlan or Tommy La Stella. 54% saying La Stella. They want to see him up at the Major League level, but Chris Coghlan is getting his chance. Now let's take a look at the Mariners lineup, and this is one that is impressive, Todd. Cruz, Cano, and Seager stand out to you immediately. Those two, well, three. Cruz with 25, Cano with 22 home runs, and Seager with 20. The only other trios in all of baseball that have 20 home runs each are in Baltimore with Davis, Machado, and Trumbo, and Colorado with Arenado, Gonzalez, and Story. They can hit.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, and they can hit for power. That's one thing that you have to take note of when you look at this Mariners lineup. It is filled with veteran hitters. They do have some players, I call them blenders, guys who can do some different things on the field. But when it comes down to it, the Mariners win when you say, why do they win? They win because they hit with power, and that's really what it comes down to. And they have three of the better power hitters in the American League, and you see them stacked right there in the middle of the lineup. So that's something John Lester is going to have to consider all game long. This is a very good team. As I said at the open, their record is not indicative of the talent that they have on their roster. So I don't know if that gets anybody in trouble with the Mariners. I hope it doesn't. But the bottom line is this. A lot of people picked this team to win the American League West this year. They have a very good rotation, a pretty decent bullpen, and a lineup stocked with guys who can hit the long ball. In fact, they've got 8 guys on this roster that are in double digits already in home runs.
And that's saying something, given where they play their home ball, and it does make me raise an eyebrow knowing that Nelson Cruz has 16 road home runs, and he is coming to Wrigley.
Well, it's an amazing thing because the conversation on the Major League Baseball level around the big leagues has been, how do you get guys to come to Seattle, because they had such a hard time bringing hitters to Seattle for an extended period of time, and you watch what they've done. Maybe it's just acquiring the right talent, because they are hitting home runs in bunches right now and getting it done. They are, I believe, 5th in the American League in home runs. You know who else has had a home run recently? Who's that? Addison Russell. We're going to talk about him next. Stay with us on Cubs Pregame Live, presented by Fields Auto Group.
Hey, which filter should I use? Sandstone or sandpaper? Sandstone. Sandpaper.
Or how about sandwich? That was pretty good. It was very good.
Real people need a real breakfast. Come into McDonald's for the most breakfast options under the sun. And don't forget to download the McDonald's app for coupons and offers on all your breakfast favorites and more.
Ready, go. tonight at Briar Street Theater.
Welcome to Honda.
Thank you.
Head over heels, where should I go? Can't stop myself, out of control. Head over heels, no time to think. Looks like the whole world's out of sync.
So you like it?
I do. Now is the moment to get the Honda CR-V you love, the best-selling SUV in America, at the Honda Summer Clearance Event, going on now.
There you have it, folks. It's the greatest double play ever.
Get 2 medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each. Add any 4 20-ounce Pepsi-Cola products for just $5.
Papa John's, the official pizza of Major League Baseball.
4x for being one with the water, sand, and the land. For those that let the open air guide them. For inspired style, matched only by what it stands for. Jeep Cherokee. It's how we live 4x for summer. Get 0% APR for 75 months or $3,500 combined cash allowance plus $500 bonus cash on 2016 Cherokee models.
Performance, no matter where, no matter what. The only intelligent all-wheel drive system with enhanced driving performance for all-season capability is now available on more models than ever. We only make one thing. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Visit your Chicagoland BMW centers today.
Sports Talk Live, presented by the all-new Chevy Silverado. Weeknights at 5:30.
There's the 1-0 to Russell. Deep left center. Grand slam time. 8-1.
It is time for Built for Business, presented by Comcast Business. And at Wrigley Field since June 21st, you see what Addison Russell has done in 14 games, batting .365, 7 doubles, 4 home runs, including that one, 16 RBI, and his walk-to-strikeout ratio still improving, but the numbers are speaking for themselves. That is Comcast Business, Built for Business. It's nice to see Addison Russell improving there. What have you seen out of him at home, especially?
Well, I see the confidence. I think back to what Joe Madden did say right before the All-Star break, that he thought the Addison Russell that he would get back after his All-Star experience would be one that's kind of producing the way that he is. Now, I don't want to just talk about confidence. And confidence in baseball terminology is not missing your pitch. It's understanding that when you get a center-cut fastball right there in a predictable count, that you can do something with it. And who didn't think that when you saw that leg go up right there, when he was taking that swing, that he was getting ready to do some significant damage? I wouldn't sit there and I was going to predict a grand slam, but you could almost see it in his body language. When his front leg went up, he knew he was getting a fastball. He knew he was looking out over the plate. That when it came in there, it would have been a base hit, it would have been a double, it would have been a hard hit ball somewhere. So that's becoming predictable and predictably good. That's a good thing for the game of baseball. When you're looking at your team, you say, this is Addison Russell. Not the Addison Russell that we saw a little bit earlier in his career that went through periods of time where he was great for 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks he was kind of finding his swing and trying to figure out how he's being pitched and what was going on. Right now, he is in a spot where he gets his pitch, he doesn't miss it. And it's proving itself through the slugging percentage because he's hitting doubles, he's driving the ball out of the yard, and he continues to come through with runners in scoring position.
We keep with the good hitting theme with the Cubs and now move to Ben Zobrist, who obviously had a pretty good game last night. He had a run scored, a double, and the game-winning RBI. He's in the outfield today.
Approach. It's impressive to see Ben. I do go back to the last at-bat last night against Nate Jones, who we know brings it 96, 97 miles an hour. Ripped one foul, spun on him. That one right there he kept fair. I thought, what a great adjustment. That ball is in off the plate. For me, when Ben's timing is there, you can kind of tell it and see it in his eyes, maybe even watch his hands. He likes to get those hands a little active, kind of to maybe wake himself up before his swing starts. But what you see is a good result, and I think he's actually becoming quite predictable too. And I said it last night on the post-game show, look for Ben Zobrist to start streaking in the right direction. I know people have been like, well, what happened to Ben? You know, he was so awesome in May. Well, that was an incredible run that Ben Zobrist had been throwing out there, not even really to the career norms. Even Joe Madden talked about it. I've never seen him do this before. It was great to see and fun to experience. He certainly, his numbers are a little bit back to the norm, which is an 800 OPS kind of a guy. But I really do see him starting to surge, and I think there's going to be a hot August for him coming up.
I like the prediction. It is time for one last break here on Cubs Pregame Live as we get you ready for that game against the Mariners. We get Todd's keys next, but first, Dexter Fowler, not in the lineup today, but he is getting ready. He tweeted this morning, stretching with his daughter, Naya. She's sleeping. He says she can't hang. Something tells me Dex is going to work on that. Stay with us.
This one has amazing gas mileage, but I think this one is more my style. But then again, maybe this one is more my style. What to do, what to do?
Now, you know, at Continental Motors, there's a 3-day exchange policy on all used cars.
Wow, 3 days, really?
Yeah, 124 hours.
No, 3 days is 72 hours.
Well, not if you're using the metric system.
No, still the same.
Maybe if you carry the...
72 hours.
So then 3 days.
Grab your phone and come check out our unbeatable online selection at ContinentalMotors.com.
200 million watching history be made. 2 million making their own. 5 seconds gained. And a nomination won. When it counts, the biggest moments count on Comcast Business. With $5,000 of NBC coverage for the games. Over 900 miles of fiber laid for the Democratic National Convention. 40 pit stalls monitored at once for NASCAR. And 10 terabytes of data transferred for the big game at Levi's Stadium. We know what it takes to connect millions. Imagine what Comcast can do for your business.
Pat Hughes reporting from Wrigleyville Sports, where the excitement is building. Devin is getting a new home white jersey customized while he waits. He'll be ready for game action in no time. Ashley is having fun taking selfies in her new Cubs t-shirt. Fits like a glove. Colin is testing out a new bat. Get out the tape measure, long gone. Across the street from Wrigley Field, Wrigleyville Sports is your one-stop shop for everything Cubs. Open 7 days a week or anytime at WrigleyvilleSports.com.
Our mountains challenge us. Push us back. Knock us down. Tell us it can't be done. But then, one day you reach the summit, and you realize the harder the climb, the better the reward. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
And hey, there's this. Dwayne Wade will officially be introduced as a Chicago Bull today. We will carry the news conference with Wade and Bulls General Manager Gar Forman live on Comcast Sportsnet Plus at 2. For those of you working, it will also be streaming on CSNChicago.com. Don't tell your boss I told you that. It is time for our Fields Auto Group keys to the game. Holly, I want the major keys.
All right. Hopefully this is a winning combination. Up the middle. Now read it the way that we have it up there. This is what you got to do. Iwakuma, you want to get him up in the zone. Listen, he loves to pitch down. He pitches up for purpose, as you see right there. But it's typically you're going to see the split finger. We're showing him all up pitches. What are we doing here? We're challenging him up at the top of the zone. He does go up there, but you need to get him up. That's what you want to know about that. Here, why? Listen, it's as simple as this. Fastball, slider, cutter, curveball, split finger. He throws all of those pitches. By comparison, his fastball, he uses it less than 50% of the time. He throws a lot of secondary pitches. You've got to get him up, and because of those secondary pitches, I really do believe the approach will be back through the middle. Use the big part of the field against Iwakuma today. Now, power outage, that's what we want to see from John Lester, pulling the plug on the middle of that lineup. You got Cano, you got Seager, you got Cruz, and oh, by the way, you got a few other guys in this lineup. Lee's got power, Marti's got power as well behind him. Iannetta can take the ball out. These are all guys that you've got to respect, so really look at John Lester and how he approaches them today in the low zone, because you don't want to see those long ones. And mixing and matching, we heard a little bit about this, and I'm not sure how it's going to go, but really it's just kind of in conjunction with what our bullpen might look like today. If Chapman, if Rondon or Strope are unavailable, I really do believe that Chapman probably won't be used today, so we'll see how it plays itself out, but there's a possibility that we see some different arms today.
I like it. Now, what about our key performers? Holly, you go first.
All right, I know where you're going, so I'm going to go with Jason Hayward today. I really think it's a good matchup for him, and I think he's going to have a big one.
That said, we did both both talk about Ben Zobrist, who has a pretty impressive average against Iwakuma. Zobrist batting .364 in 11 career at-bats. Not bad. It's been fun, Holly. We get to watch a good game coming up. Thanks for watching Cubs Pregame Live, presented by Fields Auto Group. These two teams haven't played since 2013. We'll be back for the postgame show. Here's Len and JD from Wrigley Field.
All right, Layla, Todd, thanks very much. Cubs winning both games here at home against the White Sox to kind of stabilize things. Cubs have been good since the All-Star break.
Yeah, they have. They'd won 3 consecutive series and then split that 4-game set, if you want to treat it as such, with the White Sox dropping 2 there and then coming back and winning 2 here at Wrigley. Starting pitching leading the way. Jason Hamill really good in his start, and then John Lackey last night. And we got to see that 3-headed monster out of the bullpen for the first time of Strop, Rondon, and Chapman coming in to slam the door.
And before we get into John Lester, who will start today against the Mariners, there's a little sense of urgency. Cardinals are playing maybe their best baseball of the year. You've got the non-waiver deadline coming up Monday. Mariners are kind of on the edge of the playoff race in the American League. The Marlins come in Monday. So a couple of tough opponents coming up.
Yeah, and the Marlins just made a big deal to improve their starting pitching. And when we saw them down in Florida, they were very good. This Mariner club, looking at the numbers, this is a good team. They hit a bunch of home runs. They pitched pretty well, solid defensively, not an easy team to beat.
Let's talk about John Lester. He's been really good at Wrigley Field this year. Last time out, he actually pitched in Milwaukee, struggled a bit early with the running game. That was a game the Cubs would come back and win.
Yeah, he ended up walking 5 in that ball game. I think he got out of sorts as they were kind of turning it loose on the bases against him. Here in this ballpark, he's been outstanding. That really applies to all the Cubs starters. The starting rotation in this ballpark, by far the best in Major League Baseball. So hopefully John can get back on the beam here today against this Mariner club. But one guy to keep an eye on, Nelson Cruz, has done a lot of damage against John in his career. But here are the numbers. Lester in 9 home starts, 5-2 with a sparkling 2.18 ERA. Hisashi Iwakuma, the 35-year-old right-hander, he's been on a nice roll. He's won his last 5, 2.51 ERA during that stretch.
All right, Cubs winning the first 2 on the homestand. It'll be 8 games in total, with the Mariners for 3, then the Marlins for 3. We've got more coming up here on CSN, getting you set for Cubs baseball. The Cubs hosting the Seattle Mariners.
This Cubs injury report is brought to you by ATI Physical Therapy, taking physical therapy to a higher level. Ask your doctor about ATI Physical Therapy. Get there.
It starts with the low Fields price, and then we include all of the Fields amenities at no extra charge.
And now, during the summer clearance event, you can buy a new 2016 Jeep Patriot Sport with front-wheel drive. Sale price for only $16,623.
You don't have to beat them up about the price. They're already giving you the best price.
A low price and a whole lot more, like our Fields amenities that include free loaners, free car washes, and our Fields cafes.
The deal is always great, so it works out for me, works out for my pocket.
It's what we do. Fields matters because you matter.
Hey, which filter should I use? Sandstone or sandpaper? Sandstone, sandpaper.
Or how about sandwich? That was pretty good. It was very good.
Real people need a real breakfast. Come into McDonald's for the most breakfast options under the sun. And don't forget to download the McDonald's app for coupons and offers on all your breakfast favorites and more.
Hey there, how are you today?
Hey there. That's refreshing. Is that on the script they give you?
Pardon?
The corporate friendliness script. It has an acronym on it, like SMILE. Service means I like everyone. Or...
No acronym, just normal everyday conversation.
I love it. Yeah, let's do it.
That feeling you get when you discover a bank built for you, that's the BMO effect. BMO Harris Bank. We're here to help.
Some things work better when they're connected, like your HD DVR. Connected to the internet now and catch up on the shows you've missed, even entire seasons all at once. Plus, get instant access to over 10,000 shows and movies on demand. Connecting your HD DVR is easy and it's free. Go to directtv.com/connect to learn how.
It starts with a low Fields price, and then we include all of the Fields amenities at no extra charge.
And now, during the summer clearance event, you can buy a new 2016 Jeep Patriot Sport with front-wheel drive. Sale price for only $16,623.
You don't have to beat them up about the price. They're already giving you the best price.
A low price and a whole lot more, like our Fields amenities that include free loaners, free car washes, and our Fields cafes.
The deal is always great. So it works out for me, works out for my pocket.
It's what we do. Fields matters because you matter.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field and Cubs baseball here on Comcast Sportsnet. This is your Coors Light game report. The Cubs opening up a 3-game set with the Seattle Mariners this weekend. That coming on the heel of taking the final 2 here at home against the White Sox to split the crosstown series. But all the talk after the game was about the 3-headed monster, as Dexter Fowler referred to it as. Strop, Rondon, Chapman, very impressive at first sight for all the fans here on the north side. And today could all be down, according to Joe Madden, who wanted to talk with pitching coach Chris Bosio before making that decision. And if that's the case, we could see some guys like Travis Wood, maybe C.J. Edwards, or even Mike Montgomery, who joined the club just a week ago and is now facing his former team here today in the Mariners for the first time, and looking forward to it.
I'm excited. You know, I actually saw those guys in the hotel lobby today. Got to, talk to them, and, it's cool. It's obviously a whirlwind getting traded, no matter what you do, just picking up and leaving in a day. But, it's cool seeing the guys, and, yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to get in there and, get them out.
You're going to have a nice little crowd today yourself, because tell us a story again about your entire family kind of having this one circled on their calendar before you were even traded. Is that how it goes?
Yeah. I was actually supposed to start today for the Mariners, and so I had a bunch of family and stuff wanting to come out, see Wrigley Field, and they already booked tickets, so it was just one of those things where I said, hey, you guys can keep your tickets, and so it worked out in that regard. But, it's fun. It's good to have a bunch of family out here, and, teammates, a lot of, all of my former teammates, and, now being a part of this team is something special. So it's looking forward to it, and, next 3 days.
Well, I know you know a lot of the guys in this clubhouse do their own research and homework, if you will, but do you give them any tips? Is that a baseball code? You're not allowed to do that with you working with this afternoon?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
tell them how to get
I'll tell them what I think, once you're on a different team, I think it's all fair game. And
there you go.
That's just, I think everyone knows that. And, I think you still got to go out there and get them out. As many tips as you might know. I think they pretty much do all their research. They probably still know more than I do even, so. But it's cool, seeing them, and if I get in there, I'll be excited.
Tell me, just in the week that you have been here, what has stood out to you about what you're seeing translate in the bullpen right now? Of course, the addition of Chapman, and then what your role will be, because I would say, especially on a day like this where he's going to be down, Rondon will probably be down, maybe even Strop as well. I mean, it's all you guys here carrying the load.
Yeah, I think we got a very versatile bullpen. We got guys that can get stretched out and go length, and we got a lot of, dominant backhand guys. So, for me, it's going to be to be ready for, either of those situations. And, I think I'm ready for it. It's just a matter of, what the bullpen needs, what the team needs. And, if we need someone that can go multiple innings, I can do that, or go one inning late in the game, I can do that. So I'll be ready for anything, and, it's just whatever Joe wants.
Okay, who's the guy, if you get the opportunity to ring him up, you really want to make it happen today, just so you can then later be like, I got you, man?
Well, all of them, but if I had to pick one,
who's the guy you want to stick it to?
I want to get Seager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I mean, we go back and forth on different things on baseball, and he's a great guy, and being his teammate for the last couple years, I think he's a good player. So I'd say I'd be excited to get him out.
Very well received in the clubhouse. The guys really like the lefty addition who you see here, acquired by the Cubs on the 20th. And look at his numbers really quick with the Mariners in 32 games, 3-4, a 2.34 ERA. And career, pretty good looking numbers there, 2.49, 7-10, a 3.73. We are now going to send it to the PA for the national anthem. Cubs baseball on the way.
At this time, please remain standing and join Larry Cornegas as he honors America with our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail after twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Swinging out to Vegas for the weekend. Roll, just roll those dice. On a swinging night in the town. If you feel like singing a song and you want other people to sing along, just sing what you feel. Don't let anyone say it's wrong. When there's a light, what light? There's a light, what light? There's a light, white light.
This one has amazing gas mileage, but I think this one is more my style. But then again, maybe this one is more my style. What to do, what to do.
Now, you know, at Continental Motors, there's a 3-day exchange policy on all used cars.
Wow, 3 days, really?
Yeah, 124 hours.
No, 3 days is 72 hours.
Well, not if you're using the metric system.
No, still the same.
Even if you carry the...
72 hours.
So then 3 days. Grab your phone and come check out our unbeatable online selection at ContinentalMotors.com.
What if one day everything just stopped going wrong?
Have a good day,
No more accidents. No more disasters. Where would State Farm be? Here to help with college. Here for that first car. And here for new beginnings. Because in a world where nothing went wrong, your State Farm agent will still be right here. Helping make life go completely right.
last night, the Cubs closed out their City Series with the White Sox, defending home field for a second straight night and splitting the season set. Today, John Lester aims to build on his Wrigley success as his hometown Mariners come to Chicago. Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. City Series is over. The Cubs move on. They continue, though, in interleague play and welcome in for only the second time ever the Seattle Mariners here at Wrigley for the first time since 2007. And welcome to Cubs baseball. Len and JD with you. Kind of hazy conditions. The sun is shining. Might be a tough sky day for the outfielders. And the wind might shift, but right now it's blowing in.
Yeah, and that's a good thing because this Mariner club hits a lot of home runs. They've got a lot of guys who get the ball in the air. John Lester will be able to take advantage of that, hopefully. It's interesting because we never see this club, but they've got a lot of firepower. The guys in the middle of that order, Cano, Cruz, and Seager, about as good as it gets, all three of them with 20-plus home runs already this year.
No DH for the Mariners this weekend, so Nelson Cruz is in their lineup. He is playing right field. He has mostly DH'd this season. Had a big game in Toronto earlier on this trip, and you can pretty much count on about 25 homers or more every year from him.
Yeah, among the American League leaders in home runs and slugging and on base plus slugging, he's done a lot of damage against John Lester in his career. 11 out of 28. It's a batting average approaching 400 with 3 long ones.
Cubs made a roster move today. Chris Coghlan is back from the disabled list. He was very good in a few rehab games at AA Tennessee. He had the rib cage strain. Interestingly, Tommy LaStella optioned back to AAA Iowa. This is really about who has options and who doesn't, and unfortunately Tommy had to draw the short straw.
Yeah, it's just about controlling the roster. The other option, I guess, would have been to designate Chris Coghlan for assignment. The Cubs did not want to do that. We've got a trade deadline nearing. It's a kind of a fluid situation. More things may happen. Yeah, not fair for Tommy LaStella, but that's the nature of the game. He had options, so this way they're able to keep LaStella and Coghlan both in the fold, and we got Soler coming soon too.
That's right. He is rehabbing as well. Let's hear from Joe Madden on how Tommy LaStella took the news. He wasn't happy.
Not well, like you would not expect it. Yeah, I was not well, and he shouldn't take it well. Honestly, it's just it's an unusual moment we're in right now where we have so many guys, and like this is definitely advocacy for a 27 or 28 man roster. It's just it's difficult. These are hard decisions. Guys are not going to like them. I don't expect them to like him. I'll not make up any kind of excuse or try to give you guys any kind of reason other than the fact that it was hard to do. He didn't like it. And it's just, again, it's part of the rules and how they are constructed in our game that kind of forces you into different moments.
Well, the Cubs roster is such that there are going to be some difficult decisions to be made. The non-waiver deadline is Monday. That's August 1st, and we'll see if the Cubs decide to make any other moves. But we have Cubs baseball next as they host the Seattle Mariners. The lineups, the first pitch, and all the action coming up on Comcast Sportsnet.
It's the recon mission for Tango 165. The endless search for the best berries. A midnight run for tacos al pastor. And the empty roads of Dawn Patrol. This is summer driving. During the Mazda Summer Drive event, get 0 to drive lease offers on any new 2016 Mazda.
The simple truth is, sometimes life isn't just. Someone crosses over the line, the best laid plans fail, or the sky falls, and lives are changed forever, and people suffer. And when that happens, you might find a system that is not just. That's the reason I began my career, because even when life isn't just, there can be justice, and everyone deserves justice.
The summer clearance event is here at Feeney Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Elgin. Get our lowest prices on our entire inventory. Cars, trucks, minivans, and more Jeeps than we need. All with 0% financing available. Look at this 2016 Wrangler, just $299 a month. Or a 2016 Ram 1500 Quad Cab, $299 a month. Both with zero due. Or this 2016 Dodge Caravan, only $16,997. Find it at Feeney, FeeneyAutos.com.
Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Ford, inviting you to check out their fuel-efficient lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by your local Kia dealers. Visit mykiachicago.com to learn more.
Welcome back to beautiful Wrigley Field. Puyallup, Washington native John Lester will face the following Seattle Mariners Southwest starting lineup. This card written out by former Cub catcher and in his first year as their manager, Scott Service. Switch hitting Sean O'Malley will be in the leadoff spot. Young Ketel Marte is on the disabled list. Veteran Franklin Gutierrez, Cano Cruz, Kyle Seager, another 20-homer year for him. Dae-Ho Lee is a rookie, even though he's in his 30s. Leonis Martin, the center fielder. Chris Iannetta, the catcher. And Hisashi Iwakuma, the pitcher, batting ninth.
Cubs defensively, we'll set it for you, and it's brought to you by Arby's. Chris Coughlin, back from the DL, will play left today. Jason Hayward, center. Ben Zobrist in right as Dexter Fowler takes a rest. Bryant, Russell, Baez, Rizzo on the infield. Man, Russell and Baez, they've been fun to watch lately, making all kinds of plays as per usual. David Ross behind the plate when John Lester is the Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher, as he is this afternoon. He's out there for the 21st time, 10-4 with a 309 earned run average. So Mariner team a fair bit better against right-handed pitching than lefties.
You see the umpires as Eric Cooper says play ball. Cornerman in against the switch hitting Sean O'Malley. And we are underway.
You can tell by the numbers, O'Malley not a slugger, so you respect the bunt. Pinch in a little bit on the corners, especially when John is on the mound.
Big lefty with a 1-1, a swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
Frustrating game for John last time out because the Brewers were really pushing the running game early, and the strike zone was about the size of a postage stamp, so a tough go for him.
Broken bat roller to third, gobbled up. Chris Bryant, off balance throw, bang bang play. He's out. Scott Service though may want an early challenge. Call made over there by Lance Barrett.
Yeah, don't mark your scorecard just yet. The Mariners are going to contemplate, and an early decision from Scott Service. There, we're going to tweak this rule yet again. We're not going to give a manager a number of challenges. We're going to give him so much time on a clock. So
well,
if he makes it, if he makes his challenge within 5 seconds, then even if he loses it, he can keep it. Or we'll give him a total of 20 seconds for the ball game. Something silly like that.
Forsyth Technology replay review. I have not seen any angle yet that gives me any indication of out or safe. Let's see this one. Safe.
Safe.
So he'll win that.
Yeah, it's going to be an infield hit for O'Malley.
Should not take long.
Feel free to mark your scorecards now.
And we have our answer, and he is safe.
O'Malley 3 out of 3 in stolen bases. The Mariner team, they do not run at all. They're 14th out of 15 teams in the American League with 27 stolen bases, and their percentage is woeful. They've been caught 22 times. But you would have to think O'Malley would be a candidate.
There's Franklin Gutierrez. As O'Malley takes a pretty big lead. As Lester steps off. So the dance has begun. That's a strike.
David Ross will be peeking here these first couple of pitches at O'Malley to see how aggressively he comes back to the base after taking a secondary lead. If he's a little nonchalant about it, David will take a shot at him.
There's a throw, and he got back in safely.
So the big lead leads to a longer secondary, and if you get caught flat-footed, we'll take a shot at you. O'Malley able to scramble back safely.
Well, that last start, it was just simply a weird day. Cubs came back and won the game 6-5 on Sunday. 90 degrees, 4 hours, 8 minutes. And as bad as it felt early, and I talked to both David Ross and John Lester the day after. There's a 2-1 swing and a miss. 2-2. I threw it out there. They both agreed. I said, it's one of those games, man. You're in the second inning. It feels like you're down 8-0. And it's 2-0. John found a way to kind of grind through 4+. I think the aesthetics of giving up stolen bases, it feels like you're giving up runs, not bases. Runner goes, and the throw is late. Gutierrez strikes out. That's the first out. But you know what I mean? A team steals 5 or 6 bases in 2 innings, and it just feels awful, but it's about runs, not bases.
Well, and also because when you see that, you think, well, this is never going to stop. You just think they're going to continue to push it and end up stealing 10 bases in the game. And they did not. They backed off a little bit.
Now Robinson Cano, who never makes an out against the Cubs in spring training. March 27th, he went 4 for 4, 3 homers, a walk, 7 RBIs. In a game that didn't count. 33 years old. He's playing on a 10-year contract signed a couple of years ago, and he takes ball 1 outside. An all-star for the 7th time, and lots of career at bats against John Lester, particularly in those Red Sox Yankees matchups. Two 2-0. And his dad, Jose, was briefly a teammate of yours in Houston, 1989.
Jose, a right-handed pitcher, spent some time with the Astros. And folks may remember him throwing to Robbie in the All-Star game for the home run contest.
That's a strike. Speaking of former teammates of Jim Deshaies, Scott Service in Houston as well before he became a Cub.
Yeah, he was one of those guys who would peg as a future manager, a manager in waiting. Leader of men type, smart guy. Real nice career. Solid backstop.
3-1 on Cano with Nelson Cruz on deck. I mentioned this a few days ago. The Mariners have had a very strange schedule here lately. 3 off days since a week ago yesterday. So they've had an off day before each of their last 3 series in Toronto, Pittsburgh, and this one. They're in 3rd in the American League West, 6.5 out. 6th in the wild card, 4 games back of the 2nd spot.
Ball 4.
Yeah, apparently they've expressed some interest in Jay Bruce of the Cincinnati Reds. They got Taiwan Walker, the young pitcher who 2 springs ago he was like the best pitcher in Arizona. He's coming back from an injury. Really had a bad month of June, set them back on their heels a little bit, and they've been hovering around 500 ever since. This is the guy you really want to focus on against Lester because of what he's done against John and the fact that Cano and Seager, both left-handed hitters, their numbers diminished against left-handed pitching, but not this guy.
Outside for ball 1. Base coaches Manny Acta is over at third. Casey Candell is at first.
Another old teammate.
Yeah, they're all over the place. And now Ross will head out as John keeps missing the strike zone.
And the dynamic of the early base runner clearly presents a problem as he tries to settle in. Any starting pitcher will tell you sometimes, whether it's your home ballpark or not, tough to get your bearings in the first inning, just get the feel of the mound and just you want to settle in. So leadoff base runner presents a problem for any pitcher, and for a guy who has issues with the running game the way John does, it's doubly so. Now you got that thumper up here with a couple men on base and a hitter's count.
Wind coming out of the northeast at the moment at 10. And a strike called. I would say a wind that is non-July 29th-ish, if that is a term. Big leg kick in the 2-1 and a foul.
So you would say we have a June day temperature-wise, maybe an early May wind day.
As we sit here on July 29th, yeah.
All in all, a very comfortable day. Cruz, against left-handed pitching, has a .664 slugging percentage. That's 5th best in Major League Baseball. Fifth best in the majors, in the bigs.
Possibly could get some showers at some point. Wet. Strike 3. That's a big one. 2 down.
Now Cruz expressing some displeasure, but it looked like he went. It wasn't a real big swing, but it looked like it was long enough for sure. Yeah.
With a better look. No question. Kyle Seager, the third baseman. 6th season, got a 7-year, $100 million extension following his All-Star campaign in 2014. 5 straight 20-homer seasons, batting .363 in July.
That was some good slugging numbers, but he's got pretty extreme splits, left and right.
That was an awkward swing.
Yeah, pretty good numbers, 5 out of 16 against John, but just 202 against left-handed pitching this year. All that good stuff, and he might not be the best player in his family.
Right. Popped him up. And the wind is going to cause problems for Bryant. And it gives Seager another pitch at least.
Yeah, see 332 against right-handed pitching. It's 202 with a 262 on base percentage against southpaws.
John usually works pretty hard, but he had to work extra hard to get out of that inning, and he did.
Dear Chicago, let's take a trip out of Midway to your favorite international destinations. With love, Southwest.
DirecTV is at it again with another so-called deal. With a $60 intro rate that jumps to over $100 after just 3 months, then shoots up to almost $200 after a year. The hits just keep on coming because you're locked into a 2-year contract that can cost up to $3,500. Don't get blindsided by DirecTV. Switch to an X1 double play from Comcast and lock in your rate for 2 full years. Call or go online today.
It's a golden opportunity to discover the power of the human hand, the ability of a Lexus Master Craftsman to turn an ordinary experience into an extraordinary one. For a limited time, get some of the best offers of the year on our most refined vehicles at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Lease the 2016 ES350 with 0 due at signing for $419 a month for 36 months, and we'll make your first month's payment. See your Lexus dealer.
The leadoff man is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. Chris Coughlin gets a hit in his first try. Binny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Coughlin back off the disabled list. Bryant, Rizzo, and Zobrist, all All-Stars this year, along with Addison Russell, the shortstop. He's going to hit 5th. Jason Hayward back in the lineup and playing center for Fowler today. Baez at 2nd. And the battery of Ross and Lester, 8 and 9.
Mariners defensively brought to you by Arby's. Gutierrez, boy, he used to be really something in the outfield, but he's battled some health issues. Martin in center, Nelson Cruz the right fielder, Seager, O'Malley, Cano, and Lee on the infield. Cano's only committed 2 errors all year. Chris Iannetta, the veteran, is the catcher, and the Lexus starting pitcher is Hisashi Iwakuma.
6'3", 210, 35 years old, an All-Star 2013, and his entire major league career has been as a Mariner. But JD, it looked like for a while he was going to end up with the Dodgers, as Coughlin taps back to the mound and Iwakuma makes the play, and the Mariners ended up re-signing him after whatever deal he had fell apart.
Yeah, he is a smart pitcher. Threw no-hitter last year. A little highlight for him. 58 and 31 lifetime with the 330. Kind of a kitchen sink guy. You know, he's not going to overpower you with velocity, but he'll sink it, he'll cut it. Split finger pitch is his best pitch. And he's rocking some pretty cool shoes.
Yeah, a lot of teal with that dark blue. Little flare with that leg kick.
With that hesitation as he comes to the top of his delivery. The balance point, which you see from a lot of the Japanese pitchers.
Bryant with a line shot to left, and that'll get to the wall. Gutierrez will retrieve it. It's a double.
It's a trend. First at bat last night, an RBI double for Bryant off Chris Sale. This time he picks on a breaking pitch from Iwakuma. Iwakuma has won 5 in a row, 7 of his last 8 starts. He's picked up a win.
Yeah, he has not had a no decision since the 14th of May. 10-2 over his last dozen starts. Faced the Cubs 3 years ago at Safeco Field, went 8 innings and got a no decision. This is his Wrigley Field debut. Pacific League MVP in 2008 in Japan. Also won the Cy Young equivalent that season, went 21-4. Pitched for Kanetsu and Rakuten in Japan, 2001 to 2011.
So pretty steady. Home and road, very good work. Iwakuma will pitch backwards, especially to a left-handed slugger like Rizzo. Work off the plate with the fastball, try to get him to chase the split finger pitch.
Ground ball, it is Cano. Runner at third, 2 outs, and it's Ben Zobrist. Iwakuma's first year with the 2001 Osaka Kintetsu Buffaloes. All right.
Yeah.
His teammates that year included Freddie Garcia and Tuffy Rhodes. He hit 55 home runs. Iwakuma's from Tokyo. And here's his 1-0 to Zobrist. It's low, 2-0. Apparently, he was negotiating with the Dodgers. Went through a physical. And then he claims the Dodgers wanted to renegotiate what they had already agreed to. So things kind of fell apart, and the Mariners swooped in and re-signed him. Reports of a 3-year, $45 million deal with L.A.
And they had to settle for a 1-year, $12 million deal with a couple of options with the Mariners.
Here's the 3-0 to Zobrist. He walked him, and it'll give Addison Russell a chance here in the first with 2 men on.
Well, and I think Zobrist obviously is a very patient hitter. He walks more than he strikes out, and that's the approach you have to take against Iwakuma because he looks very hittable. You know, he's out there throwing 95 miles an hour. So you got to force him into the strike zone.
Lester needed 24 pitches to get through the top of the first. Low and outside on Russell. Iwakuma with pitch number 12 here in the bottom of the first. Base runners on a double and a walk. Fly into center field, surrounded by Martin to end the inning. After 1 from Wrigley, 0-0.
Yeah, I like this right here.
The Ford Freedom
Freedom Sales Event is on, and 0 for 72 is back on 2016 Ford Focus, Fusion, and Escape. Plus, specially tagged vehicles get an extra 1,000 smart bonus. That means freedom from interest and freedom to choose with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Free, baby. Now get 0% financing for 72 months. Plus, specially tagged vehicles get 1,000 smart bonus. Only at the Ford Freedom Sales Event.
From the first building block to the last coat of paint, Menards is here to help with an 11% rebate on everything, even sale prices. Whether you're remodeling your house or creating a backyard getaway, you'll save 11% on all of it, so you can finish your latest project and start planning the next big thing. Save big money and get an 11% rebate on everything, even sale prices. Now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
What if one day everything just stopped going wrong? Have a good day, hon. No more accidents. No more disasters. Where would State Farm be? Here to help with college. Here for that first car. And here for new beginnings. Because in a world where nothing went wrong, your State Farm agent will still be right here. Helping make life go completely right.
You can follow Patrick Mooney, our Cubs insider, all season long on CSNChicago.com, presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich, serving the community for 38 years. Go to jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. Lester with 3 strikeouts in the first. Gave up a single, a steal, and a walk. But did not allow a run. Dae-Ho Lee will start it. 34-year-old Major League rookie. 15 years professionally in Korea and Japan. And I recall seeing the Mariners in spring training right around the time he had an opt-out. They decided to hang on to him and to see what he's done this year with the bat. As an aside, you got to really jog the memory to come up with specific spring training thoughts. I don't know about you, but I tend to erase all that stuff out of my brain. But I remembered the Cano game. As Hayward will drift toward right center and make the catch.
Yeah, I remember Cano too, just taking batting practice essentially off live pitching.
One away, and now left-handed hitting. Leonis Martin, acquired from Texas in November.
Likes to bunt. That was pretty big hack there.
So we don't see the Mariners often. Did you know they have the longest current postseason drought in Major League Baseball?
I heard that just 2 seconds ago when you said it.
The last time they went to the playoffs was 2001 under Lou Piniella when they won 116 games. So it's been 14 years, and counting without a postseason trip. There are 2 current Major League franchises that have never won a pennant. Can you name those 2?
Seattle.
That would be one of the 2. Two-two pitch. Laced the other way, and Coughlin will have to chase it down. Martin with a double.
How about Milwaukee?
No, they were
Milwaukee Brewers.
They were in the World Series in '82.
Oh, 82, yeah. Okay.
I will give you a hint. They have played in 2 different cities and 2 different countries.
The Washington Nationals /
Yes.
Montreal Expos.
Yep.
Well, curvature here for Martin. Well, never mind the bunt. Something must be in the water or the coffee up there in Seattle. Martin with 13 home runs this year.
There's a catcher, Ionetta. So I don't know if you're having dinner or drinks with your buddies tonight, but you can drop that knowledge on them. 2 franchises without a World Series trip.
Well, because that was the big story with the '94 with the strike. The Expos, probably the best team in baseball that year. They had a great team in the late '70s, early '80s. Got beat by the Dodgers. Split season playoffs. The team's got a huge lead out there.
2-0 on Ionetta, who was brought in this year as a free agent to stabilize things behind the plate. Last year's Mariners catchers combined for a .464 OPS. That's on base plus slugging. By far the worst offensive numbers in baseball. 19th currently this year at .672. Former Cub Steve Clevenger part of that mix. He is on the disabled list with a broken right hand.
So an interesting situation for Martin out there. There's upside, obviously, if he can get to third base while Ionetta is still batting. But if he gets thrown out and then Ionetta makes the out, they've got Iwakuma leading off the next inning.
Towering fly to right. Zobrist has it. Martin will stay put. Good throw. So Iwakuma bats with a man at second and 2 outs. 0 for 10 in his major league career with a walk and 8 strikeouts. Ross calling in Baez. And 2 other infielders will join the conversation as well.
Yeah, and maybe this is Ross saying, look, let's tighten up a little bit on Martin. Not that, you know, the situation really calls for it, but let's just free John up so he doesn't have to worry about the base runner and just make pitches to Iwakuma here and move this thing along. Because even though if you're John Lester and you know that it would be a really bad baseball play to run in this situation, he's got to step off. So I guess they weren't going to tighten things up on him a little bit. Maybe David's message was let him go. Let's just get the hitter. That's the biggest lead I've ever seen a base runner take. And if David said let him go, John's not buying it.
One strike on Iwakuma. Runner was on the move, but Iwakuma grounds to Russell, and that will end the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the second. That is a happy dog right there. Treat time.
Good boy. Good boy. Well, he gets the drink out of the...
I joined Binny's in 1955. A winning team needs experience.
Now, the Binny's team needs youth.
Guys, a great team needs both. That's why Binny's has been #1 in Chicago since 1948.
I should tweet that.
Rookie. Welcome to Honda.
Thank you.
Head over heels, where should I go? Can't stop myself, out of control. Head over heels, no time to think. Looks like the whole world's out of sync.
So you like it?
I do.
Now is the moment to get the Honda CR-V you love, the best-selling SUV in America, at the Honda Summer Clearance Event, going on now.
This is our Colby sofa and love seat, only $799. And this is our competitors. Same look, but a whopping $17.99.
Ours has contemporary flair, coordinating toss pillows, all with Bobopedic memory foam seating for extreme comfort.
And of course, an untouchable value, $799.
And this is about how much sofa $799 will get you at our competitors. A little Bob's goes a long way.
Nobody should go to bed hungry.
That's where our friends at Binny's Beverage Depot are going to bat for the Greater Chicago Food Depository.
Every time the Cubs leadoff man gets a hit, Binny's donates $100 to help feed hungry families in Chicagoland.
That calls for a toast.
Welcome back. Scoreless as we head to the bottom of the second. Tomorrow afternoon, join us for Game 2 of the series as Jake Arrieta makes a run at his 13th win of the year opposite lefty Wade Miley and the Mariners. Coverage begins at 12:30 with Cubs pregame live, presented by Fields Auto on CSN Chicago.
Jake already has his game face on. And a huge crowd here in the ballpark today. A lot of cloud cover. Let's hope we can stave off the rain. Wind has really kicked up off the lake. Lights are on. And it's Jason Hayward to lead it off. Well, we got that pitch. Strike one.
Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire. A little leeway to Iwakuma off the outside corner. There's a cutter. So mostly what we're seeing is these hybrid slider cutters, 82 to 84. It's a splitty there at 81. We saw one fastball at 87 last inning.
Well, good fade on that split.
Speaking of good fade, that's solid.
Pounded on the ground, backhanded by Cano. Not a great throw, but Lee handled it.
He's like Baez. He's got a little style in his game. Fun to watch play. And as I mentioned earlier, he's only committed 2 errors all year.
Yeah, he makes it look easy. And so does this guy. Iwakuma will barehand and he'll just put it in his pocket. That's the old swinging bunch.
A thing of beauty. And a good decision by Iwakuma not to try to make a heroic play there. Would have sailed it down the right field line, possibly. And we're not going to get Baez.
David Ross.
There's a guy in this ballpark that could have made that play.
Yeah.
The Mariners bullpen coach now, Mike Hampton.
Oh, great
athlete. One of the most athletic pitchers I've ever seen.
He could hit too. 1-0 on Ross. Swing and a miss. This is the only matinee on the Friday Major League schedule. It is the only interleague matchup.
So hello to everybody watching around the game. Players getting to the clubhouse about now for the night game.
Ross into left for a base hit. First and second with 1 out.
Well, this hit a little bit more legit. So rolling bunt hit by Baez. Now solid line drive single for David Ross. Not a lot of ABs for David lately. The emergence of Contreras. David coming off that little stint on the concussion DL prior to the break.
Two on for the pitcher, Lester.
Could be bunting, but he might be hacking.
John had 4 hits last year. He's got 3 this year, including the first 2 extra base hits of his career, both doubles. Good swing there as he bounces foul. 1-1. 5 sack bunts here in 2016.
And defensively, the Mariners here, they're not going to try to do anything tricky with 1 out in the inning already. There's no wheel play, not going to be overly aggressive trying to nail an advance runner. They just want to make sure if John does bunt that they get an out. Many times with Joe Madden, the bunt doesn't come into play till his pitcher's got 2 strikes on him.
One and two. Cubs have won 9 of 14 following a 5-15 stretch. This is the 21,000th regular season game in Chicago Cubs history. There's the bunt with 2 strikes, and it'll work as Iwakuma gets it to Lee. 1-3.
Job well done by Big John. Joe gave him a couple of chances to swing. Nothing happened. All right, let's go ahead and drop a bunt down. That's tough when you only got 1 to play with. But a beautifully executed sacrifice bunt by John Lester.
So 2 in scoring position for Chris Coghlan. Coghlan 5 rehab games at AA Tennessee. Coming back from the ribcage strain, went 8 for 16 with 4 doubles. He was reacquired from Oakland by the Cubs on June 9th. After being sent to the A's on February 25th. That deal was to make room for Dexter Fowler's return.
That bat in the first was his first ever against Iwakuma.
Knocked down by Iannetta.
just a handful of if any at-bats for Cub hitters against Iwakuma in their career. Zobrist has seen him 11 times, been 4 out of 11. Dexter Fowler also with 11 at-bats against Iwakuma.
Well, we mentioned an Apodaca and Pokeroba battery. It's Iwakuma and Ionetta today. It's pretty good.
The eyes have it.
Bryant on deck.
There you go. Let's get back to that whole point about protection maybe being overrated. With Bryant on deck, Iwakuma still being very cautious here with Coughlin.
Three and one. I smell rain.
I smell smoked meat.
I hope I'm wrong. Three and two.
Boy. Just pulling off that fastball there. One of the more aggressive pitches Iwakuma has made. A 3-1 89-mile-an-hour fastball out over the heart of the plate. There you go. They got it going on back there.
Full count offering. We'll do it again.
Just a little bit behind that heater. You have to respect the split finger pitch, especially a left-handed hitter. That fading splitter, you don't want to get fooled by that. Wait a little bit longer and you're going to be behind the fastball some.
He's got that split grip. 3-2. Into center and a base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes the throw to the plate. Safe there. Throw to second. Safe there. It's 2-0 Cubs. Javier Baez and Eric Cooper kind of collided at the plate. And Cooper, I think, kind of shoved Javi out of the way because he was expecting to have to make a call.
Well, good battle by Coughlin. Breaks his bat, just flips a little soft line drive into shallow right. You see, or excuse me, right center. You see the break Baez, or excuse me, the back runner David Ross had off second base, so he's able to come in and score. And then it makes the play to second, but Coughlin, who never slowed down, gets himself into scoring position. So a bit of a misfortune for Iwakuma in this inning. 2 of the 3 hits very softly hit.
So the Cubs grab the lead. Swing and a miss by Bryant. I think Baez was trying to help David Ross, the back runner. He kind of got in the home plate umpire's way. Left field and a base hit. Coughlin will score, and it's 3-0. Bryant 2 for 2.
Iwakuma doesn't have the overpowering fastball, and he doesn't have that real sharp swing and miss breaking ball, so it really plays to the strengths of Chris Bryant, and so far Bryant has been all over him. 2 at-bats, 2 real good swings, double single. This time it brings home a run.
That will prompt a visit from the Mariners pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre Jr. 4 singles in the inning. Lob over to first. There's the 2-run single. Cooper's just shooing Baez out of the play. Beat it, kid. I'm working.
Off my yard.
Fouled back. Not a big lead by Bryant. Rizzo pulls it foul on the ground. Got a ground ball off the tarp. I hope that's the last time I have to mention that apparatus today. Two strikes on Rizzo. And the pitch. Popped up. Seager, the only infielder over on that side, and he's got it. And the inning is over. RBI hits Coughlin and Bryant, and it's 3-0 after 2.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. I'm attorney Howard Ankin with legendary sportscaster Steve Stone.
And I know the right team knows how to win, like Howard Ankin Law Office.
If you or someone you know needs help with an injury case, I'm here to help. Please give me a call.
Put Howard's number in your phone right now, 312-6-million.
It's time to take your Crunchwrap love to the next level. Literally. With a whole new level of seasoned beef, nacho cheese sauce, and crunchy tostada. Taco Bell's new limited edition triple-double Crunchwrap. You'll triple-double love it.
This was my job. Now, this is my job.
My job then. My job today.
When I came home from Afghanistan, finding work wasn't easy.
I got an apprenticeship as an operator.
A lot of that's work in construction.
And we all rely on prevailing wage laws. Prevailing wage is like a minimum wage for skilled construction workers.
They make sure our roads and bridges are built safely.
And that veterans can provide a good life for their families.
Thank your state legislators for standing up for veterans by supporting prevailing wage.
Hey, honey. You remember to lock the Buick, right?
Of course I do. I'll never forget that.
The My Buick app, now available in every Buick.
You closed all the apartment windows, too.
Come on. Really?
Now current lessees, switch to Buick and get this low-mileage lease on this 2016 Encore for around $189 per month. Or pay no interest for 5 years, plus get $750 purchase bonus cash on the 2016 Encore.
Hey fans, when you think mortgage in Chicago, think eClick Lending with rates at all-time lows. Don't wait, lock in your low rate today. With eClick Lending, you never pay lending fees. Point, click, save. eClick Lending. Also, welcome to all our viewers watching on Nova Cablevision in Lake Bracken, Illinois. Sean O'Malley bunts foul. So Well, Leicester working with a 3-0 advantage. John Lackey was terrific last night. Got pulled with some gas left in the tank as O'Malley bunts again foul. But, Joe wanted to use a pinch hitter to try to add to the lead. And with Chapman available to get more than 3 outs, which he did, he was able to shorten up his veteran starting pitcher.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see that a fair bit moving forward. The ability to really shorten games, even if a starting pitcher has been efficient and still looks strong. That Stroke, Rondon, Chapman combination, when they're in play, and Joe's going to push that button quite frequently. Maybe an added benefit too, especially for a guy like John Lackey, 37 years of age, has done a lot of pitching in his career. May save him some bullets.
Foul.
Stretch drive.
Strike 3.
So that's strikeout number 4 for John. O'Malley with an infield single first time. This time a little late to the party, beat by the Leicester fastball.
Well, I think the buy-in with his whole team, but particularly the starting pitchers, Arrieta clearly last couple of starts in the playoffs just wasn't quite as sharp. Lester's been through it many times, so has Lackey. You have personal goals, and they all may get to 200 innings, but I guess my point is, if they come up a little bit short, I think all the starters realize it's about more than 162 games for this team. That has been the goal from day one.
Yeah, and I think they all understand that. When you're in the middle of a game, if you're really competitive and you're pitching well, you don't want to come out. And that's what Joe said after the game. So I get it. John didn't want to come out, but the game dictated that I make that move.
Gutierrez flies to Coghlan, 2 outs. Hey, Cubs fans, let's go. Tickets are available for the upcoming series with the Marlins, August 1st through the 3rd. Don't miss the action here at Wrigley Field. Visit Cubs.com to get your tickets today. Ichiro is supposed to be in their lineup tonight against St. Louis. He is 2 hits away from 3,000. And the Marlins made a big deal with the San Diego Padres today, involving 7 players. Cano grounds into center. Former Cub Andrew Kastner and Colin Ray, as the Marlins needed starters and they get a couple, head to Miami, and it looked like a pretty good haul going in the other direction, including Carter Capps coming back from Tommy John surgery. 2 of the Marlins' top prospects. Jared Cozart is involved.
The second or third time Cozart's been dealt. I think the Padres got the Marlins' #1 pick from last year.
You are correct. 19-year-old. Josh Naylor, Naylor, first base prospect.
He doesn't want to make eye contact with David. Yeah, I know what you have to say. Don't worry about the base runner. Just give me the ball.
Right field and to the seats. It's 2-1. So you see the price for pitching. Cubs may have just gotten a rental in Aroldis Chapman. They had to give up a lot. Marlins gave up a ton to get 2 starting options, the headliner being Cashner. I don't think the White Sox are going to trade Chris Sale here over the next few days, but what could they get for him when you also include the contract at such an affordable rate? I don't know if anybody would be willing to give up what he probably could get in this particular market in return. Ball 4.
Well, yeah, you're talking about you're talking about a 4-player package, a couple major league ready players, and a team's top 2 prospects.
I was going to say, what you need to get in return is some sort of notarized certificate that guarantees you're going to win the World Series this year. If you do that, you'll give up 5 prospects, but that does not exist. Seager out in the left center, and it'll be caught by Coghlan. They have left 5 on through 3, and the Cubs lead 3-0.
We are the Coors Brewing Company, and our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. A beer proud enough to wear our name in big, red, scripted letters. That's why we lager, filter, and package cold. Because we believe every climb deserves a refreshing finish. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
Hey there, how are you today?
Hey there. That's refreshing. Is that on the script they give you?
Pardon?
The corporate friendliness script that has an acronym on it, like SMILE. Service means I like everyone, or...
No acronym, just normal everyday conversation.
I love it.
Yeah, let's do it.
That feeling you get when you discover a bank built for you, that's the BMO effect. BMO Harris Bank. We're here to help.
It's the recon mission for Tango 165. The endless search for the best berries. A midnight run for tacos al pastor. And the empty roads of Dawn Patrol. This is summer driving. During the Mazda Summer Drive event, get 0 to drive lease offers on any new 2016 Mazda.
That's way back. First grand slam in the career of Addison Russell.
Tomorrow, the Cubs duel it out in an interleague matchup with these Mariners at 120. Up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans will receive a Cubs misting fan presented by Comcast Sportsnet. You're welcome. For more information and ticket availability, visit Cubs.com. Ball 1 on Ben Zobrist. Borderline strike, 1-1.
Mariners have been employing the pull shift for most of the left-handed hitters. Unlike the White Sox, they don't put one of their infielders out into shallow right field.
That'll get into the left field corner. So Zobrist heating up. He had the game-winning RBI in the game last night.
We'll continue to put pressure on Iwakuma. This is the 6th hit of the day for the Cubs. Second for extra bases, and Zobrist, after going through that long drought, has turned a corner. A number of good games lately. Batting average back on the climb.
Russell flied to center in the first, batting fifth today. And strike one called.
Mariners really bunching their outfielders, giving Russell all kinds of room down both lines. With the wind blowing in, they're quite shallow. So Kyle Seager's brother Corey tearing it up with the Dodgers. There's another one, correct? Isn't there a third brother, like minor league ball somewhere?
I don't know. There might be.
Pretty good DNA there. Like the Hanson brothers. Justin Seager.
Yeah, I was going to say Justin, first baseman, corner infield guy, went to UNC Charlotte. And the Mariners system. Swing and a miss, strike three.
So up there with the notion to bunt to try to move Zobrist along, and he ends up making no contact. So a win here for Iwakuma. Good splitter here, delivered down and away, gets the chase.
First strikeout for Iwakuma. And a struggling Jason Hayward. Came in 5 for 45 over his last 13 games. He's playing center today with no Fowler. And called strike one. One and one. Mariners will be back here in Chicago in less than a month. 4 games on the south side against the White Sox.
Mariners were here for an off day yesterday. I wonder if anybody went to Lollapalooza.
Possibly. Hayward deep right. Gone. Oh, that feels good. It's a 2-run homer for Hayward, and it's 5-0 Cubs.
Yeah, it had been a long time for Jason. Was this the second home run in this ballpark for him this year? His 5th overall. Iwakuma elevates that 2-seam fastball, and the big fella really got into it. That's what he's been working so hard on with John Maley, trying to get more lift.
Ford home run replay. First homer since June 11th. Baez takes a strike. So 5th home run, second with a man on. for Jason. Time for a Lowe's home field advantage. Some good numbers on Javier Baez here in his home ballpark.
Good at home, really good against lefties, better of late against right-handed pitching.
And a base hit the other way. He's 2 for 2.
Yeah, and we've seen some of that lately too. A willingness to cut down on the stroke, use the off field. He's getting better and better. Nothing cooking down in the Mariners bullpen yet.
Pitch to Ross. Downstairs, ball 1. I mentioned it, Iwakuma winning 5 in a row coming into today, and 12 consecutive decisions, 10 wins, 2 losses. Most runs he's allowed in over a month. Only the second time this year, third time I should say, he's allowed 5 in a game. And now there is some action. Nathan Carnes.
Kuma, a fly ball type pitcher who normally gives up a fair number of home runs, but his recent run here is part of it is because he has kept the ball in the ballpark for the most part. Last 4 or 5 starts.
And had allowed 2 homers total in those 5 outings going into today. The other thing about Scott Service waiting to get somebody up is Iwakuma has been very dependable in terms of innings. He's only failed to go 5 innings 1 time in his 20 starts. Elevated to center, and it's Martin for out number 2, and it'll bring up the pitcher Lester.